In this video, we're going to talk about my journey selling supplies on Etsy. I'm going to actually show you my listings that sold the best. I'll show you why that was, and I'll teach you how it works well in 2025. You will walk away from this with actual supply ideas that you can add to your shop to make a lot of money. Out of my 8 years on Etsy, 4 of those were in the supply category, and I have since helped many Etsy sellers scale to over $10,000 a month with a wide variety of supplies, from ribbon to holiday items to beads and more. Let's start off with, what did I sell? I sold silk flowers, artificial greenery, fabric, ribbon, fold over elastic, floral foam, iron-on patches, items for events and occasions, such as finished, non-handmade bouquets, and more. So this is a metallic rose gold flower. It is artificial, and I positioned it for wedding decor, centerpiece flowers, cake flowers as well. And I sold $14,000 of this flower. These cost me about 30 cents. You can actually see the full price was over $11 per flower. Etsy marketing and SEO, which means offsite ads, that drove 42% of my traffic. The search results that this was coming up under: rose gold flowers, rose gold wedding decor, which is exactly why you need to make sure you're positioning your products for the end user and for the solution you're providing. So you'll see a lot of what I came up under was decor, wedding, cake. It wasn't just a flower or a rose. It was much more than that. You can see we don't even see artificial flower until much further down. Pinterest drove 78% of our social media visits, and supplies do great on Pinterest. Now here's another flower. This was probably about 50 to 60 cherry blossoms for about $4. So my cost was basically 7 cents, and I'm selling it for $1.99. So that is an incredible profit on the $6,800. With this, you'll see 46% came from Etsy, about 27% came from offsite ads, so Google, Yahoo, Bing. And you'll see the search terms for this were mostly decor, cherry blossom, petals, garland, flower, wedding decor, bouquet. And you will see out of the social media traffic, the Facebook strategy drove 57%. Here's another example of a supply that I sold. This is a completed bouquet. So this is for a wedding, which is an event or special occasion, which means that it is under the supply category. I bought these for about $7 each, and I sold them for $49.49, and the customer paid shipping. When we look at the traffic, it really came from primarily Etsy, much less with offsite ads, only about 7.3%. But succulent bouquet, greenery bouquet, wedding bouquet, succulent bridal bouquet, and Pinterest drove 73% of the social media traffic. Unfortunately, my supplier, I bought him out completely, and this isn't something that they were continuing to manufacture. This is an example of something that did quite well. It is an emerald green, dark green rose, emerald green flowers, right? That's not something that's very common. So offsite ads did really well for that. And you can see pretty much exactly what it was, and not as much the purpose or utility. Dark green, emerald green, that's really what we attracted. Pinterest did a decent job. 58% of our social media traffic came from Pinterest. The Etsy app, 37% of traffic. Now, this is a product that I saw the trend in wedding for the emerald green, and that is why I pulled this into my shop. I was paying attention to trends that were outside of Etsy. So we do want to be ahead of the trends when you are selling B2B on the Etsy platform. Another example of this was this flower. It is a toffee brown rose, which I also never used in my finished handmade products. This was specifically purchased as a supply category product because I saw the trends in the browns and the neutrals and the taupes. Most of the traffic did come from the Etsy app, followed by Google. Brown roses, toffee, brown decor, and Pinterest again drove the most of that social media traffic. So I started by selling what I had on hand, and then I moved into sourcing supplies that would stand alone because I saw how scalable this category was. It was so easy for even my 5-year-old to fulfill these orders, right? Just packaging them up in boxes. I then moved into developing SMUs with manufacturers. And this is one of the best ways to compete on Etsy in supplies. This is where you're actually developing something specifically for your shop that your competition doesn't have access to. Later on, once I picked up on some trends that our supplier really wasn't meeting, then I got into the SMU game with them. And this was specifically with certain colors and sizes and shapes. So why did supplies work in these categories? And did any of my supply categories fail? I will say not all of them worked the same. So flowers and greenery, the reason that these worked really well is because they're very three-dimensional. And they also happen to photograph beautifully because there's many different sizes and models. They're also a higher price point. Per product, it's usually over $2 each. And people are ordering high quantities. So it's like selling beads, right? They're not just ordering one bead, although you could list it as one bead in your listing. And it made sense with the floral category and greenery category to list a very small, almost sample size. So I wasn't selling these for pennies. I was making well over $1 per unit sold, and many people were purchasing 100 to 500 units at a time. These high quantities are ordered for events and occasions, and it's a big B2B market with year-round sales and seasonality, which you can expand on with new collections. There are things that work well in every single different season. Now, the things that didn't work well were things like ribbon, fabric, some ugly things like foam, floral foam. These were not as strong for me or competitive. So I found that the supplies that were not as visually appealing, they typically did not perform as well. So does this work well in 2025? The answer is a big yes. I really believe that all handmade businesses should add supplies in 2025. You might think, why does she recommend this? Well, because cash is king. And this is a great way to prioritize profitability in your business. We want to focus on regenerating cash flow from investments you've already made. Start with selling your materials as supplies, and as you start to see what works best, you can also invest in inventory that is purely as a supply. And that is going to bring more and more people to your shop. Adding the supply category to your shop is also another way to bring in a brand new customer, and this is probably going to be a B2B customer, which can be great for building a consistent client base. When you're selling B2B, you're much more focused on the lifetime value of the customer. It's much less transactional and much more focused on LTV. Supplies are also very scalable if you are looking to grow your business in a way where you can outsource fulfillment. Sourcing, negotiating, working with suppliers, being very resourceful is part of the competitive advantage. Trend forecasting is also a big way to compete. So if you would like to learn more about how to get into supplies, how to source suppliers who make things like what I showed you, then feel free to schedule a call with myself and my team below. We will put the link in the description and in the comments, and we can show you a full demo of what our game plan to success on Etsy looks like through our one-on-one coaching. This does include showing you how to leverage the supply category. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Until now, I didn't really have many sales in my Etsy shop. Almost 2 months ago, I bought the course. I can see a steady growth, increase in my views, especially in my conversion rate, which was very low before.